That's all radio is.
And streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
Yes, indeed, it is a beautiful Friday morning. 37 degrees, but you know, it could be a lot worse. We've got the T's in the house, Todd and Tanner. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Paul.
Double T's might be in trouble, Moose.
I know, I think I'm in real big trouble.
Well, you're outnumbered.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun's, I don't know if it's peaking up. Daylight's coming up at least.
Daylight's trying to come out.
Daylight's coming out, but yeah, like you said, 37 degrees out, a little chilly, but it could be a lot worse.
It could. It's still sweatshirt weather, if you ask me.
I'll wear a sweatshirt through April. Even when
yeah. I'm saying, you know,
May, but
if it gets down below 30, I start bringing the coat back out.
I gotcha.
You know.
That means it's almost shorts weather then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't wear shorts, so it's never shorts weather for me.
Fair enough. But it is officially spring now.
It is officially spring.
As of Monday.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite feel like it yet, but.
No, but
the rain's been here a little bit.
Yeah, and winter felt like spring for most of it, so
yeah.
I think it's only fair.
I was thinking yesterday, I think I only had to shovel a driveway one time.
Yeah, I think that's
Knock
about
on
right.
wood. Hopefully I don't have to.
It is wood. On wood. You're good.
Hopefully I don't have to shovel it anytime soon since I just made that statement. But yeah.
So if we get snow, it's
yeah, I will take the blame. But did see some a little hail in Rochester this weekend.
Yeah.
This week.
That was fun.
Never fun. Nothing about hail is fun.
No.
But
No.
that's part of the weather.
Yes.
Transition from winter to spring, and you know, April's going to be upon us next weekend. Next Saturday will be April 1st, and then you know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. So we're going to probably expect some wet weather coming up for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
the next Friday is going to be April Fool's prank day, or
might be
prepared for that.
Okay.
Might be.
All right.
Might need to research some April Fool's history maybe for a trivia question. There's a hint there.
Now, see, you just gave me a hint, so I'll go research it, and then you'll come in next Friday, and it'll be nothing like what it was supposed to be.
That could be the joke.
Exactly.
I got some trivia for you this morning, Paul.
All right.
And for everybody out there that didn't see on Facebook, Paul Moose Zartman is our guest this morning. Special guest. So we'd like to have you answer some questions from us about 1 or 2 times a year. So.
Okay.
All right. So, what is the most played song of all time on the radio? And I saw this on about 3 or 4 different websites. So,
all right.
I think it's pretty.
That's a tough one, Moose. I can think of a couple off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good ones to pick from. So it was tough to narrow down to 4 to give you a multiple choice, but I didn't. So, is it A, Yesterday by the Beatles, B, Every Breath You Take by the Police, C, You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin' by the Righteous Brothers, or D, Ever My Love by the Association?
All right.
I was thinking there might have been a holiday song in there, like Rudolph or Jingle Bells or something like that.
Anything Mariah Carey.
A lot of those are on the list, so it was tough to narrow down to 4 decent choices. But
Yeah. All right.
I'll let you think about it during the program and see if you can get it right. So,
I have a feeling.
you got a feeling?
I'll save it to the end.
All right.
And that's not one of the songs I had a feeling.
No. But this way, if I save my answer to the end, we just go right into words of wisdom, and I can hide my shame if I'm wrong.
That's true. Smart strategy there. Sports, nothing going on locally. Spring break's still going on for Rochester. Well, today, I guess, is their last day for spring break. Some other schools haven't had theirs yet, but spring sports, if practices haven't started for those schools now on spring break, they will be soon.
Yep.
So,
Baseball, track, cross country.
yeah.
No, not cross country.
Baseball,
Golf.
track, golf.
Yeah.
Yep. Softball. Yep.
Some tennis in there.
Yep. Tennis. Yep. Whole bunch of sports.
Yeah.
With rainy weather, like that. You know,
spring's a tough season
it is.
for Indiana high school sports.
It is.
There's always rainouts and makeups.
As a boys golfer, I always wished Indiana would have done the boys season in the fall. Understand why they don't, because then you conflict with football and even tennis and some other sports. But the fall's so much better weather for golf. So spring typically is.
Baseball and softball are tough to get into.
Right.
Sometimes you're playing out there in 40 degrees.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Snowflakes. And
Yeah.
you never know what's going to bring.
Those aluminum bats don't do well in this.
No.
No, they don't.
Sting a little bit right up the hands and up the arms.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of years ago, we had opening day for softball for Jalen in the snow.
Yep.
That was not fun.
And it seems like right when the weather gets good consistently, it's school's over. Or
Yeah.
getting to be over.
Yep.
So, but with all that said, we do have March Madness going on, hot and
We do.
heavy. Sweet 16 started last night, so now we know a couple teams that are in the Elite Eight already, which will be played this weekend. And the Final Four will be played next week in Houston. So we're almost at the end of the college basketball season. It's been a crazy tournament so far.
Yeah.
A lot of upsets, a lot of unique teams left in the tournament. Last night we saw a classic game between Kansas State and Michigan State that went into overtime. Kansas State ended up defeating Michigan State, so now the Big Ten is out of teams already. Kind of comes as a surprise, but yet doesn't come as a surprise.
Those teams were so good last night. I mean, boom, 3-pointer
Yeah.
here, 3-pointer there. Go down the floor, 3-pointer
Yep.
here.
Making threes and great guard play. That's the formula to win in March, whereas
Yep.
Purdue and Indiana, more so Purdue specifically, were built around a big guy. I mean, Purdue or Indiana's best player is a big guy, but I would say the offense always had to go through.
Well, that's what I was thinking watching
Yeah.
the game last night is the Big Ten will never do well because they're not built for
That's not their style.
Something has to change with that.
It does.
I
I
always
agree.
thought like Big Ten's great basketball, but
Yep.
you watch what happened last night. I mean, they were shooting almost 48% 3-pointers for the Kansas State Michigan State game.
I agree with that completely. I mean, you have to go back clear to 2000. Michigan State in 2000 was the last Big Ten team to win a national championship. They've had some make it,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're going on a big drought for a big conference now, and the style of play, like you said, Purdue struggled against Fairleigh Dickinson, of course, becoming the second team in the history, second one seed in the history of the NCAA tournament to lose a 16 seed.
Tanner brought that up.
I did. I've talked about it nauseam the last week,
I was going to let him go this week.
but my point being, they struggle with small ball with quick guards and teams like space. Yeah, nobody in the Big Ten really plays like that. Penn State, Maryland, maybe the closest, but like you said, something's got to change with the Big Ten, and I'm not sure.
Except for maybe Penn State this year. There's
Yeah.
only like 1 or 2 or 3 shooters
Yep.
on any Big Ten team.
Yep.
And can't survive that anymore.
And the reason I think Michigan State was within the eyelash making the Elite Eight, even though they had a very mediocre season for them, was they probably had the best tandem guards in the Big Ten. And guard play wins in March. And
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas State last night, Marquise Noel had an NCAA tournament record of 19 assists last night in the game. He was incredible. He only stands at 5'7".
So what I'm hearing, and you and I are the only two that, and maybe 1 or 2 other people are going to be the only ones that get this. Purdue needs Nick Jackson.
Yes. Yes, they need a 3-point shooter. So and maybe they'll go get one in the transfer portal.
I've already read some things that where Indiana's looking in the portal for several people. They're actually mentioning names. So
Yeah.
It's not even like, behind doors recruiting.
No, it's
anymore.
just out there. There's a name to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, and I think we've already seen Big Ten guys putting their name in the NBA. Some said they're going to put their name with the chance of withdrawal. Some are saying they're gone. So it's going to look different next year. The landscape of the Big Ten, but maybe that's not a bad thing.
So I was out of town for a couple of days.
Yes.
Is Notre Dame getting a new coach yet?
Yes, Micah Shrewsbury from Penn State. So really good hire, I think, in my opinion. 7-year deal. He's been assistant coach at Purdue twice, Butler once, the Boston Celtics with Brad Stevens, and he was Penn State's coach the last 2 years. He got into the tournament this year, to the second round. And I think a really good hire for Notre Dame. In my
That
opinion.
probably wasn't on your script. I was just curious.
Right there,
Okay.
right there it was. So,
It was coming.
Yes, I think he'll be good. It'll be tougher for Indiana and Purdue to recruit in state now. I think he'll have a footprint.
Well, that's what I think the style of basketball has changed. It used to be take lots of pride, Purdue's playing
Right.
with Indiana players.
Right,
Indiana's playing with Indiana players. So
right.
maybe for at that college level, some of them aren't just good enough anymore.
Right,
I hate
right.
to say that because there's nothing better than Indiana.
That's 100% correct. So, yeah, they got to find out some kind of formula because whatever the Big Ten is doing is just not working. A few other games last night. Connecticut steamrolled Arkansas. I thought that was going to be a really good game, but Connecticut's hot right now. And Florida Atlantic upset Tennessee last night. So Florida Atlantic will meet Kansas State in the Elite Eight. And then in the nightcap last night, Gonzaga beat UCLA in a really close game. So Gonzaga will play UConn for the chance to go to the Final Four.
So Dusty May, the Florida Atlantic
Yep.
coach, former IU
I
manager.
know. I think there's some IU fans already keeping close tabs to how
He'll
they
be
do.
gone.
Yeah. So yeah.
He'll be gone this year.
Yeah.
probably.
Somebody. If an opening comes up,
Seems to be a really good coach.
I mean that happens if a smaller school, especially has any type of tournament success. A bigger school's going to come down to them right away. So
Yeah, I heard he was played in eastern Greene County, which is kind of, if you're in southern Indiana and Bloomington area, that's kind of interesting from eastern Greene
Yeah.
County. And interesting, I mean, just Hoosier does well. you know?
Yeah. So his team's. I mean, I looked at the record coming in the tournament, 31-3, and everybody's picking Memphis. I said, don't sleep on this team. 31-3 for a reason, and so far so good for them. We'll see if they can somehow make the Final Four and beat Kansas State. Games tonight going on. Alabama is against San Diego State. That's the first game at 6:30. You have Miami, Florida versus Houston. That should be a really athletic, fast-paced game at 7:15. Princeton against Creighton at 9 o'clock, and Princeton become the second 15 seed ever to make the Elite Eight. And then Xavier versus Texas, the nightcap at 9:45.
So out of these 12 teams left, 8 today and 4 from last night, who's your Final Four?
Well, 3 of my Final Four from my original bracket are still in it.
Oh, okay.
So
that's easy.
I will take out of that, I'll say Houston, I'll say Gonzaga, I'll say Creighton, and my other one's not in it, of course. So I'll go Kansas State.
Okay.
It would be a unique Final Four.
Yeah.
It would be. It'd be an entertaining Final Four.
Yeah, actually, if all 4 of those, I think it would be 4 teams. Well, actually, Houston might have won one. I was going to say 4 teams that have never won a national championship. I think Houston has. So, quite a few of the teams remaining have not.
They won a couple. Did they win last year? No.
No, last year was
Samson's won, I think.
Kansas.
Yeah.
So Kansas won last year, which they are out. A lot of the blue bloods out, and yeah, it's been an entertaining tournament to watch, and the games should be good tonight too. Got some tidbits for you this morning, Paul.
All right.
On this day in 1958, a guy named Elvis Presley
Never heard of it.
He joined the Army,
Oh.
which I did not know.
Yeah, I knew that.
He served for 2 years. I had no idea that
Oh.
Elvis was in the Army.
Yeah, his acting career was based off of his time served.
Okay.
He even shows himself in some more type movies. Even,
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I just need to brush up on my Elvis knowledge a little bit.
Yeah.
On this day in 1999, The Matrix premiered.
Ah, good movie.
Have you seen them all? Have you seen the whole series, or just the first
No, the first 2,
two?
maybe the third one.
Are you a big fan of the movie? I've never seen the Matrix.
I'm a big fan of the first one.
Okay.
It kind of started just getting repetitive.
Yeah.
Even in the second one, just because there's only so much you can do. You've got Keanu Reeves running from bad guys in every single movie.
Yep.
If you've seen John Wick, you've seen The Matrix.
I've only seen the Matrix. I haven't seen the sequel or the third one. And the only reason I watched that, one of my college courses, we had they played the clip of the blue pill, green, or the red pill, blue pill decision. And we talked about that. I can't remember what it related to be honest. Slept a couple times since then, but so that led me to watching the whole movie. So.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I'm trying to think and I couldn't. It doesn't make for good radio.
On this day in 2005, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, TV shows of all time, the U.S. version of The Office premiered on NBC. It was
2005.
It was almost canceled after 1 year.
Yeah.
And what saved it was loyal fans going on the iTunes store and buying episodes. Enough people did that. It sparked NBC's interest to renew it for a second season, and then it went for many seasons on from there. So, kind of crazy, because it was only eight episodes per season.
It still runs 24/7
Yep.
on cable, it seems like.
Comedy Central,
You can always
Freeform.
find it on somewhere.
Yep. And then you can find it on Peacock if you can't, the NBC streaming app that has it on there too. And I'm old fashioned too, and I have all the seasons on DVD. Can't say I've popped it in any time in the last few years, but I do have them all just for keepsake.
Is your DVD player even plugged in now?
I would play it through my Xbox.
Okay.
So no.
Yeah, that happens.
And on this day in 2019, two-time American League MVP Mike Trout signed the biggest contract in North American sports history, a $426.5 million 12-year extension with the Los Angeles Angels. And the guy can't make the playoffs because the team doesn't put much around him.
That's what I was kind of thinking about. He was a great player. He's a great player. Phenomenal numbers.
Yep.
But since maybe you follow East Coast team, I follow Midwest teams in California. Has he lived up to expectations?
He's never on. Well, he's never on TV, or if he is, they'll stay up that late to watch him. So the Angels have him and Shohei Ohtani, which both of them made headlines in the World Baseball Classic. But yet they don't win enough to get them to the playoffs. So they're kind of wasting these guys' primes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and they're a big market team, Los Angeles, but they're not the main team. That's the Dodgers.
Oh yeah.
Got some, skip the national days today, about what I read there, upcoming events. It's National Cheesesteak Day,
Ooh,
which I have seen a lot of restaurants that feature cheesesteaks this week having promotions for today. So
Yeah.
You guys cheesesteak fans?
I like cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Don't eat it too often, but I really enjoy it when I do.
Yeah, because you don't want to have it so much that you're lost its appeal now.
But I've never had an actual Philly cheesesteak from Philadelphia. That's on my bucket list.
Oh, yeah. It's on mine too.
So are you a Cheese Whiz fan or no Cheese Whiz fan?
I like
the
it.
official one
Yeah.
has Cheese Whiz in it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm not a big onions guy, so if I get mine without the onions.
Do you mind without
the
I
onions.
know.
Do you mind without the peppers?
Ah, two main ingredients.
It's also National Cocktail Day
Okay.
and National Chocolate Covered Raisins Day, which I'm not a huge raisin guy, but I can do chocolate covered raisins.
See, I can do raisins. I can't do the chocolate.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, now I'll get into the upcoming events.
All right.
The 30th annual Rochester FFA auction is tomorrow.
Yes,
It's
it
going to
is.
start at 9 a.m. at the Fulton County 4-H Fairgrounds. So go out there. I mean, it's 30th annual for a reason. It's always very successful.
Yep.
And go support the FFA. Up there, they'll have a bunch of stuff you can bid to buy.
And it all kicks off with the Optimist Pancake and Sausage Breakfast.
As always.
Okay, that's tomorrow. That's a good idea.
Yes.
Something to do.
And the mayor debate, I can't talk this morning, between Rochester Mayor Ted Ditton and Trent O'Dell. That's going to be Monday night at
Yes,
7
it is.
o'clock at the Rochester High School Auditorium. I see you guys are going to have the coverage.
We are going to have coverage on air and on Hope and Facebook as well.
Oh, great.
So
Perfect.
we're going to try to take a page from the First Federal Savings Bank and post something on Facebook.
Good idea.
So what time should Tanner and I be there to help set that up?
Yeah.
Hey, you're more than welcome to come. We'll probably be there about an hour and a half before the event starts.
Okay. Should be a good event. And that is open to the public. Free to
Yes.
the public, so. Got some money news this morning. The Dow did go up yesterday.
Yes.
Went up a little above 75 points, 75.14 points. So I closed at 32,105.25. I saw the futures did drop this morning 250 points.
Nah,
Um,
never good.
but
It happens.
we'll keep an eye on it. And it's going to go up or it's going to go down. So we'll
Yes.
see what it does. And throughout the last couple weeks, that's what it's been doing now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of roller coaster ride. See, TikTok's been in the news a lot this week over data safety concerns.
Yeah.
So that's one app, and I know a majority of my friends are on it. I am not on it because I've heard it's the most time-consuming app.
It'll consume your life. I'll admit that.
I don't want to go down a rabbit hole and spend 3 hours on it, so I can do that on YouTube.
I have to monitor. I have to, kind of remind myself. Watch 4 or 5 videos, and then you're off.
It'll be interesting to see where that goes. We've seen other social media channels be in the news for something similar to this in the past. Nothing's really come out of it, so.
None of those involve the Chinese government.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So we will see where this goes. It'll be interesting because
Zuckerberg.
there's a lot of people out there that make a living off it.
There
A lot
is.
of social media influencers that
Yeah.
are called. So
They'll have to, if it gets canceled, they'll just have to turn to YouTube Shorts.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Or Instagram Reels.
But I even
Yeah.
saw where YouTube's added a new feature. You can put your podcast on YouTube now.
Okay.
So they're dipping in a little bit of everything.
Well, YouTube did start it all.
And it's the number 2 search engine in the world behind Google, which is a parent company.
Exactly.
So, well, First Federal Savings Bank today, we're open from 8:30 to 5, and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. You can always bank with us online and with our mobile app, which is free to download. Type of First Federal Savings Bank for the white star with the green background, and you know you have the right one. Our ATM is open 24/7 as well if you need some cash, and we're part of the MoneyPass network. So if you're out of town traveling, doing some shopping, going to the state finals game, which I did not mention.
Todd will be there.
Yes.
We actually played Kokomo as a lead into the show today, and I'm a Kokomo Wildcat grad, so we're playing Ben Davis on Saturday night.
Ben Davis is a really good team, but Kokomo's got a really good player in Florey, so it'll be an interesting matchup there.
Yeah.
4 good games on Saturday.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sure they're on TV somewhere.
The IHSAA network.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So which I saw RTC posted, they haven't, IHSA has a deal right now. I think
$20
going on.
buys you the entire
Yes.
remainder of the games.
Right. So, but if you're out of town, going to games, need some cash, don't know where to go for an ATM that you won't get charged a surcharge fee, go to moneypass.com and you can see which ATMs are on the MoneyPass network. Well, for Simply Free Checking and Simply Free Business checking accounts, right now when you open up a new checking account with us, you will get a free Dolly Parton pizza pan.
Hey.
And I think our branches have done a great job with their lobby displays. This cycle, some of my favorite ones I've seen them do. This cycle, they've got really creative with this. And of course, if you already have a checking account with us, but you want the pizza pan really bad, you can refer a friend. You can do that in person or online.
Yep.
So, tell Paul sent you.
Yeah. Tyson just went and opened an account last week.
There you go.
Have you ever collected your refer a friend gift from anybody?
No.
Okay.
Tyson's will probably be the first.
All right, there you go. Go get yourself a pizza pan.
Should have just told Tanner to bring it.
Yeah, I would have grabbed one for you. We got a 9-month CD special going on right now. That's at 4.32% APY. So take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Why we offer it. And we got also a closed-in second mortgage special going on through the end of May. So that's through May 31st. Borrowers will receive a reduced rate, also pay low closing costs. This is good for consolidating debt. You must be a first lien holder with First Federal.
Okay.
It's also good for that spring home improvement project.
Absolutely.
Put on that deck or that sunroom or something like that.
Yep.
Have a pool.
Absolutely. We offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Lending Breeden for more information. His direct line is 574-223-1716. And if you're thinking about planning for your retirement, getting a 401k going, or getting detail with your 401k IRA, those type of things, contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell of our Financial Services Department, and they can help you out. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FF Banking. Like us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So pretty much follow us, like us, subscribe to us,
Everywhere.
do all that stuff. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
Makes us legal and ready for the meat of the program. And I don't really have to wave anybody in this week. I just got to look right across the console at you, Paul. Paul Zartman is our guest this morning. Morning, sir.
Morning.
I understand there's some exciting news.
There is. There's some real exciting news for Giant FM. We have decided to continue to grow our branding and our station of, network of stations, our family. And we have purchased WTCA out of Plymouth. We will officially take over April 1st, and that is not an April Fool's joke.
So getting your footprint in Marshall County now.
Yes. Yeah. The goal, Scott keeps joking, is by the time he retires, he wants Giant FM to be heard across the entire state of Indiana.
Wow, I think you're well on your way.
I think so too.
How many stations does that make in the Giant FM family?
It makes 5 official stations.
Okay.
6 signals, 7 signals.
if for anybody listening out there, where are your 5 official stations located?
We have Shelbyville, where it all started, Greenfield, Rochester, Greencastle, and Plymouth.
So what's unique about this is your footprint from Rochester and Plymouth are very close, not like some of your other stations.
Absolutely.
Is that part of the reason this was done, or?
Well, we had never thought about looking at Marshall County because of how close it actually was. But Kathy and Jim from WTCA are looking to retire, and they come to Rochester a lot. They love the downtown, and they love some of the little mom and pop restaurants that we have. And with the addition of us being on the speakers downtown, they heard what Scott was doing with, had done with Rochester and WROI, and they liked it. And so that was their decision to reach out to him and say, hey, we're looking to retire, we're looking to sell. Would you be interested in buying our station? And it was one of those, at first he wasn't too sure about it. We went up there, saw the community. He met with Kathy and Jim several times. They're looking to welcome us in as part of their family. And he just said, you know what, after talking with them, it made perfect sense to add it to the family.
They have a history of local support similar to what WRI had here, and you're continuing on there, so probably same thing for Plymouth. It's going to be a local station. And
yep. Continue to be a local station with people in and out all the time. Continuing the same type of stuff we do here. We'll continue their sports programming. We'll continue their morning talk shows. Still welcoming in all the guests, maybe more that they hadn't thought about throughout the years talking to. We're going to try to get them in as well.
What's the music format look like up there? What was it for them, and are you guys going to keep that format or change it?
It's a little bit like what we were playing here.
Okay.
It'll be very, well actually it will be just what Rochester is playing.
Okay,
As we
little
get started.
mix.
Yeah. But Rochester's even changing our music up a little bit. So you'll notice some more of your classic rock, we'll call them favorites, throughout the day more instead of just in the evening and overnight hours.
And that station will then be eventually on the app as well?
Yes, eventually that is the plan. We've already kind of looked at how Kathy has done their website, and we're going to maintain that website for a little while. You'll still have the Marshall County Post, but it'll just be everything that's currently on the WTCA website, and you'll still be able to go there. There'll be 2 separate entities for a while, and we'll eventually merge them, but we like what Kathy has done, so we're not trying to rush in and create a news product like we had to do when Scott bought here.
Exciting news, Paul.
We're speaking with Paul Moose Zartman this morning, 92.1 WROI Giant FM's own Paul Moose Zartman, about 3 Towers Broadcasting's purchase of WTCA in Plymouth. So you said April 1st
Yes.
is the date to kick things off. Any big special ribbon cutting event planned, or
I don't
or
think
is that down the line? Or?
That's more down the line a little bit. We are doing our typical. We're going in and kind of remodeling a little bit.
Make it how you want it.
Yeah, we're moving their studio from where it is to up front more, so it's more visible. Taking out one of the walls to expand that studio a little bit. Getting them some new equipment and of course a new automation system as we look to make that change ourselves. So I think when we're done with everything, we could see maybe an official ribbon cutting of sorts.
Okay.
They're right downtown on Michigan Road, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. If you take Old 31 in and turn left at the brass rail, it's actually 2 buildings down. You'll have a little convenience store and then WTCA.
Perfect location.
Oh yeah.
Location. Well, it's exciting for you guys because not only are you going to get a new community for you guys, a community that's a real tight-knit community, which is similar to Rochester, but also the opportunities for you to work with some new businesses there, to do some remotes, That's some places you guys haven't done before, or
Yeah.
probably haven't done before, and just a lot of opportunities there for you.
Oh, absolutely. We are so excited. You know, the Blueberry Fest has always kind of been
Yeah.
locked down to
Sure.
those in Marshall County, so we're excited to be a part of that this year. And they have some stuff that they do work with that we hadn't before, so we're looking forward to bringing that on and incorporating it.
So we'll see the Giant FM trailer probably at the Blueberry Festival, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
That is our goal.
Yeah.
And do they do the high school sports for Plymouth?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Baseball kicks off April 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of time to dive right in it.
No.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So, anything else going on with Giant FM that you'd like to speak about right now, or anything maybe in the horizon?
Not at this time. At least not that I can confidently
Stay
say.
tuned, right?
Yes, always stay tuned.
tuned.
You never know what's going to happen. We joke on the trading post that you never know who the hosts are going to be. It could be Randy and I. It could be Randy or my dad. It could be me and my dad. It could be Randy.
You know, you got Tanner one
Yeah,
time.
I've
Yeah.
heard before.
Tanner's co-hosted before, so you never know who's going to be on the trading post. You never know what's going to happen with Giant
Yeah.
FM.
Well, can't say enough to you guys. I mean, ever since Scott and his wife came in and took over, I mean, the station keeps growing and growing and growing, and
Yes.
keep putting back into the community, and it's been great to see and exciting to watch it grow even more here in the future.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things Scott said, even recently here, he goes, you know, I never thought that we would have more than one station ever, and now here we are getting ready to take over our fifth.
You've done a great job staying invested in the community, and that means a lot to our community.
Sure
because
does.
It's local people, local information, and that's great.
Yep, and we plan to continue to do so, even with adding Plymouth. Our focus at WROI will still remain Rochester. So,
Well, I think we're pretty blessed in Rochester to have it. We are blessed to have it. I don't think we are. We are blessed to have a radio station here, like you, because a lot of towns the size of Rochester don't have that
right,
luxury. So,
Right. yeah. So we're glad to be here. Glad to continue operating. We just WROI itself just celebrated 50 years, and
that's a big
I
milestone.
joke with Scott that it'll be here for at least another 50.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Yep. Just keep going on with the changes in technology. You guys do a great job keeping up with that, and there's no
We'll try
reason
our
you can't
best.
be here another 50 years.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Moose, for being a special guest today. So not only
Yeah.
a host, but also as the special guest,
Yeah, you're the host. I'm always the co-host.
co-host. Appreciate that. Well, let's see if the co-host can get the trivia question right. So
We're gonna hope.
gotta go back and read my chicken scratch of handwriting here.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm gonna take a drink.
What is the most played song of all time on the radio? Is it Yesterday by the Beatles, Every Breath You Take by the Police, You've Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous Brothers, or Never My Love by the Association?
You know, all four of those are popular.
Mm-hmm.
But since we sprinkle in the classic rock and the classic hits, I still hear Every Breath You Take at least once a week, so I'm gonna go with Every Breath You Take.
You are wrong.
Really?
Yes. It's You've Lost That Love and Feeling by the Righteous
Alright.
Brothers.
I can see that.
Yep.
Alright. I was torn between the two, so,
Yep.
you know.
All four were in the top 20.
Alright.
So,
That
I
makes
wonder
me
if
feel
Top
good.
Gun had something to do with that, too.
You know, yeah, because that's, he said, the Righteous Brothers, and I went to the quote.
Yeah.
You know, she's lost that loving feeling. No, she hasn't. Yes, she has. I know the quote. I've never seen the movie, so
Yeah.
how's that work?
well, maybe this weekend, if you don't have plans, maybe you watch the movie this weekend.
Maybe.
Well, we'll close with some words of wisdom this morning from Peggy Noonan, American writer. TV gives everyone an image, but radio gives birth to a million images and a million brains.
Very true. Because every person hears it differently, so they imagine it differently.
100%.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tanner.
Welcome, Paul. Thank you.
We'll see you guys again next week.
We'll be here. Thanks.